Hi guys, this is your Wednesday, April the 15th grammar lesson. And as you can see, we just skipped a lesson. We're doing that on purpose today. We're going to go to lesson 8, which is called titles, and it's on page 257. So right now, skip over lesson 7 and go to lesson 8, and let's talk about titles. All right. The thing we need to know about titles is that we're going to handle titles of books, magazines, newspaper, songs, poems, chapters, albums, any kind of titles. You have to handle a little bit differently. You have to do something to them. And there's a general rule for this. So let's talk about these. If they are major works, if they're big things like movies, like books, like a whole magazine, like a whole newspaper, these big things, we're going to underline them if we're handwriting. Now if we're printing, we're going to italics it. So this is what you do if you were handwriting, and if you are printing, typing, you would italics it. These are the big things: books, magazines, newspapers, movies. Okay. Let's see here. Now, if it's a smaller piece, like a short story, articles in a magazine, songs, like a song that's part of a album, a book chapter, most poems, they're going to be smaller, and you're going to put quotations around them. Yeah, let's see here. There you go. Okay. So a short story, here's Out There is the name of a short story. Endangered Lands is an article. Song, Happy Birthday. A book chapter, Pond Life. And most poems. A few poems are very large, so you would underline them. But all the ones we're going to talk about are short. So just put quotes around them. And remember your small words like a, to, an, the, at, a, and. Those words you're not going to capitalize. Okay, so let's look at doing some of these together. How would you write these titles? I'm just going to change them right here. This is a short story, so we're going to capitalize The Necklace, and it's a short story, so you put quotes around it. Okay, let me see if I can turn the light on here. That might be better. Might see it better. Okay. All right, number 2, an article. So again, this is a small piece, and you'd capitalize that too. You capitalize B, not A, but you capitalize clown. Okay, this is a book, A Kind of Grace. Well, we're going to capitalize A because it's the first word in it. Kind, grace, and we would underline the book. Okay, The Raven is a poem, so we're going to put quotes around it. We're going to capitalize. This is a whole magazine. We're going to underline it, and then we're going to capitalize both words. The book chapter, smaller piece, quotes, capitalize. Okay? All right, how would you punctuate and capitalize the titles in these sentences? A magazine for young writers, Cricket, published my poem. Okay, so we know this is a magazine. It's a large piece, and we have to capitalize it and underline it. Readers of the New York Times lived all over the world. Well, this is a newspaper, the New York Times. And the is part of the title. So we're going to underline all words there. I read an article called Today's American Family. Quotes around it and capitalize because it's article. At the school festival, we sang Moon River. This is a song. Sorry. Not an album, a song. Mrs. King. Okay, quotes and capitalize. All right, now number 11, same thing. Yes, The Man Without a Country is definitely a short story. So we know this is a short story, The Man Without a Country. Capitalize the because it's the first word in the title. Okay. The song In Your Eyes, this is a song. So we're going to put quotes around it. Capitalize all words. Is based on the poem Eyes of Green. So we know this is a poem. It's also a short piece. We're not going to capitalize of. The magazine Newsweek, underline, capitalize, printed the article Ending Hunger. Article's name is Ending Hunger. And we're going to put quotations around it. Today's Globe, which is a magazine, we're going to underline it, has a review of the book Countdown to Noon, and that is capitalized and underlined. Okay, did the first chapter of the book Birds and More, so this is Birds and More, capitalized, is Flying Home, so that's the chapter title. Quotes around it, underline. Did the movie Community Unity, okay, it's a movie, so we're going to underline it, capitalize it, win the Oscar? Okay, last section. Okay. All right, poet Amy Cohen reads her work, Flowers Alive. All right, so it is a poem, but this needs to be capitalized, so that's the only problem there. All right, T. Will tells how he researched his article, The Big Climb, so that needs to be capitalized, but it's an article, so it's got the correct quotations. L. Ivo, a magazine editor, takes us behind the scene at Views. All right, it's a magazine, it's underlined, it's capitalized, it's all good. Professor Joe Alba reviews the books Red Rain. They should be capitalized and underlined, not quotation marks. Dr. Lila Evans leads us in songs such as By the Sea. Okay, it needs to be capitalized. It is already got the quotations around it. And Sigh. Ben Vox, reviewer for The New York Times. So that is got to be capitalized. The New York Times gives his opinion of the story. Short story, Stardust. Okay. All right. So hopefully this makes sense to you. So turn to page 272 and let's look at your directions for your homework. And I think the best way for you to get the full effect of this is to write out these sentences. It says write and punctuate each sentence correctly. So I do want you to write them out, but I'm going to have you, boys are going to do the odds on all three sections, and girls are going to do the evens on all three sections. So girls, all of you are going to just write the titles correctly, odds and or evens, putting the correct punctuation. These you're going to write out the whole sentence, making sure you, like this is a book, so you would have to underline it, you'd have to capitalize it, and then you're going to fill in these titles here on your questions. This example says, Kim enjoys reading books like, and here's a book title, The Trumpet of the Swan. You can put any book title in there that you want. And just make sure that you are punctuating it correctly. Okay? All right, do this on a Google Doc for me and turn it in by tomorrow. Thank you, guys.